It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is, beautiful people. Best Damn Nation. Welcome to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, your player pimp partner, Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the Best Damn crew. I have Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews.
What? Best podcast,
And I
best
also
podcast.
have
He is crazy.
Chef Showtime.
What's good?
Man, what's going on, partners? What's happening? I was just talking to Mr. Everything offline, and you told me something. You always got a story. You know, you like the Undertaker. Like you always got a good story that goes with everything for every situation, man.
I'm the biggest smalls of wrestling. Listen up, I got a story to tell.
Oh man. You are a storyteller and a little bit of a historian and the fact checker of the group. Tell us what you had going on this past weekend, sir.
So this past Monday, I had the prestige honor to train under Arn Anderson. Got a chance to work with his son Brock. He and C.W. Anderson are going to have some tag matches coming up pretty soon. And Arn loved the way I work in a ring and told me I have the demeanor of an Anderson. I hold the name very well. And I was like, if I was to be given that name, it would be like an extreme honor to me. And he said it was an extreme honor to him when it was given to him as well. So Arn Anderson is really not an Anderson, but still amazing all on his own.
Oh man, the legendary Arn Anderson. He's been doing his thing in AEW. He was at one point with Cody Rhodes, man, and even his son trying to really bring him up into the business. How was it training with Arn, man? Was he old school, or was he like does he adapt to the newer type of wrestler?
He's strictly old school. We actually trained with Lodi from WCW, from Ravens Flock.
Okay.
His training facility, and Arn comes every now and then. We check out some of the guys, and he really wanted to see CW and Brock work together because they have some tag matches coming up pretty soon.
Right.
And being that I'm CW's student and head trainer of the school, CW had me go along with him so that way Arn can get a look of me. And he likes the stuff that makes sense. He likes the fighting ability and the believability of you're in an actual fight. He doesn't like all the spots and everything. He said it looks cool, but it doesn't tell a real story. So he likes the storytelling and everything else. Like it was amazing to sit down and talk to him for a little bit. And I get the opportunity to see him again this coming Monday and do some more things and show him, a little bit more of Mr. Everything. So we'll see what happens after that.
Oh, is he a man's man? Is Arn that? Is he a man's man?
Absolutely.
Like whoop your ass and then drink a beer with you right after that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then we're gonna sit down and discuss it and figure out what you did wrong and why you should not go that route another time. So yeah, definitely that kind of guy.
Oh man, that's iconic, man. The legendary Arn Anderson. I know they had to be good in soaking up a couple of jewels from a legend like that. So look, it's been pretty busy, man. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been some changes to the flows of the show on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. Best Damn Nation, please, while we're broadcasting, please feel free to ask any questions. If it's something that we missed this week or something that you want to bring up, go ahead and leave a little comment down below, and we'll read it live on air for you guys. Chef, what you think of SmackDown, man?
I liked it a lot. It was surprising. Very surprising.
Okay. What were your? I got my surprises, and we're gonna talk about. We're gonna get into it. But what are some things that you really liked about this new SmackDown under the Triple H regime?
I already can see it turning more into the Attitude Era. He's bringing back
Really?
the Attitude Era. Yeah, because you see a lot of crossovers. You see everybody coming from NXT coming there. It's gonna be the Attitude Era point 2.
I am excited. I know we talked about it before with a lot of the NXT call-ups and new indie wrestlers that are coming into NXT. But I've been watching NXT lately, and they have an invasion of their own. They have the British invasion, if you would say. NXT UK is coming into NXT. They're challenging a lot of the mainstays there. The regular NXT favorites and lavables, they're coming up to main roster, and they're really shining on main roster. They putting a lot of work into Bailey and Ciampa and Io and man, a lot of my favorites. I mean, even Gunther. It used to be called Walter. I like Walter. Walter was a little chubby. Walter looked like he would beat your ass and then eat a burger right after that. Just like you know what I mean? I like the old Walter, but Gunther, man, he's just I love this character. And somebody mentioned something that the champions have to have a certain level of fear associated with their names in order for their championships to really mean something.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys' thoughts on that statement, because obviously you have babyface characters, right? Some babyface characters can be feared, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin was a babyface character a lot during his run with Vince McMahon. That was a double-edged sword. Mr. Everything, do you think that there should be an air of fear when it comes to facing a champion, sir?
Absolutely. Let's take it back to the era where we had Olympians. You know what I mean? Like they were the champions of Olympia, Greece, Rome, and they had a level of fear where people didn't challenge them or didn't want to. And it took someone brave enough or felt like they were strong enough to be able to go in and contend with these individuals. So, and what makes a champion? Someone who is feared and revered, right? So definitely you want to have your champions looked at as, maybe I don't want to get in the ring with him, but you know what? I want what he has. In order to get what he has, I have to go through this man. So if I got to go through, like the old saying, if I got to go through God just to get to heaven, then that's what I'm going to do.
What do you think, Chef Showtime? Does the champion have to have an air of fear around their name when it comes to challengers? For instance, let me give you an example. Roman Reigns, now his name demands respect.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to a champion, there's a certain level of fear when you face Roman Reigns. Part of it being, are you a big enough star to take the reins, take all of the responsibilities that champion currently has? Can you fill those shoes? Are you a big enough? Not only can you wrestle, but can you fill those shoes as being a representative for the company? Do you think there's an era of fear? Should there be an era of fear?
I think it has to be, because honestly, how many champions right, that you can remember that was nobody feared? Everybody, because as Daniel Bryan, when he became champion, he went crazy. He started stumping people's faces into. Everybody has to be fair. That's why I say Liz Morgan, nobody fears her at all. Her run's gonna be over fast.
I don't want this to be a bash Liv podcast. we've been bashing the hell out of Liv as a champion. You need a good baby face. I think we've had all kind of questions when it were first, and that goes into my question of, should the champion be feared?
Yeah.
Or respect it. And, respect is one thing, but fear is
Now,
a completely different thing.
respect live? Nobody. So, and who fears live? Nobody. So she's just there for now.
And that's the problem though. For a lot of people do not believe Liv as a champion to be a threat in any way. I think everybody feels like they can take the belt off of her, and she has some steep competition, very steep competition. SmackDown is becoming a home for powerhouses, and wrestlers, man. So it's going to be interesting. I think that the championship and facing the champion should have some fear. You should fear that. For instance, you should fear fighting Bobby Lashley. You should fear fighting a Gunther. You know what I mean? You should fear fighting Usos if you're a tag team. Bianca Belair demanded that respect. She doesn't quite have the fear yet, but she has that respect where people are, I respect your power, I respect your talent, I respect that. People fear going up against Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into we're gonna get into Shayna Baszler.
Well,
we talked about that on the last podcast, but
quick question. So let's figure out the meaning of fear though. So, because we could fear someone because of their demeanor and their stature and things like that, but how about the fear of being a failure? So I think Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey can have that fear of, if I lose to this woman again, I'm gonna look like a failure. I'm gonna look like a goof. I'm gonna look like a laughing stock. So I think she has that fear in that regard. I think her competitors are like, if I don't take this belt off of her, everything that I'm saying is gonna look like I'm just talking. You know what I mean? So I think she has that level of fear. It's just different in the regard of how we really thinking about it.
And I think you have a point on that. I like it. I like a champion that people are afraid to face, that they know is going to be an uphill battle. Brock Lesnar was that champion. When Brock held the belt hostage, everybody wanted the belt, but they didn't want to face Brock. And they know if they face Brock and that Brock is held at the top of the mountain, then they would their career would blast off. For instance, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre beat Brock. Now he hangs that as a trophy on his wall. Hey, I beat Brock Lesnar. He even mentioned it on Monday Night Raw. I beat Brock Lesnar. I'm the man, pretty much. I don't need everybody to help me out to beat Brock one-on-one. I can beat Brock by myself. Mr. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the prestige being brought to the subtitles? I hate to call them subtitles, but the secondary titles, the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. Do you feel like the belts are getting the shine that they need?
Well, the fact that you don't like calling them subtitles anymore shows that they're actually doing exactly what they need to do. They're actually giving those titles the prestige that they're supposed to have. I mean, for the longest time, everybody wanted to compete for the Intercontinental title,
right?
Because they felt like it was like right there, close to the WWE title. You know what I mean? It was that title.
Well, they were almost there.
Yeah, yes, and just can't reach.
I'm this close.
Yeah, and that was the title where if you won it, you knew that was your next step. Your next step was WWE Championship or World Title or whatever. So they're doing it. I mean, look at how they're bringing back up the ones who's held the titles previously, and how much prestige was behind it. So yeah, they're definitely doing what they're supposed to do as far in that regard.
Okay. Chef, do you like the direction that a champion like Gunther is going with the Intercontinental Championship? Do you like the direction that he's going, or do you think that he needs a little bit more title matches to be able to solidify his reign as Intercontinental Champion?
Yeah, he need more title matches. That's why I like Mr. Bobby Lashley as a USA champion. You know, he gonna put the title up. Gunther's not. He gonna make people jump through hoops. Bobby just want to beat somebody. I like that.
Well, you know, this is kind of Gunther's first run at a major title on the show, and that's not to say that he hasn't had the NXT UK title and titles in NXT, but him holding the Intercontinental title really, really means something. Now, I like the direction that he wants to bring to it, being a militant style, and being a real smart champion. I don't think he wants to be. He's gonna be a fighting champion, but I think he wants to be a smart champion and not just throw away, squander his opportunity, because he might not get it again. You know what I'm saying? There is a slight barrier when it comes to the language thing. Not to say that he doesn't speak English, but you know, will American fans gravitate to accents, because they do have a lot of people coming in. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be closed-minded about it, but you know, when people do have a little bit of an accent, like a Drew McIntyre or like a Becky Lynch, sometimes they can have a little bit harder time getting over with the fans and getting over with management also. Let's talk about that, man. You know, I don't think that's really talked about. Have you ever encountered wrestlers with a language barrier, Rosa? You know, have you ever came across people where you had a match with somebody, but they spoke a completely different language?
I've worked
everything.
I've worked with a couple of luchadors who spoke completely Spanish, and the crazier thing is there was no translator. So it was more so of like we was calling a match. It was like movements. You know, we had to read each other's body language to understand what we were saying and where we were going as far as that. And a lot of times you just keep it simple. You know, there's no need to go out there and try to do something that you don't even know what he just said. And he's going to do it on you and you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
And vice versa, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to tell him, yeah, I'm going to do an elbow drop, and I say elbow drop, and all he hears is, I do, and then I go out and I go on top rope, and he's in a certain position where he thinks what I said is what he's ready for, and it'd be something completely different. So, you know, you always keep it simple. And like I said, you just read body language, and that's why it's so important for a lot of wrestlers when they train to walk and talk a lot of their matches rather than trying to call it all in the back. Sorry from opening the forbidden door, but you know, it is what it is. You know, it's better for them to do that because you can do more if you have that ability. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to limit yourself. So, yeah, it's been tough, but it's doable.
Right. I've seen some language barrier champions like Asuka, where she held the belt for a whole year. Nobody really knew what she was talking about. But the fact that she interjected some of her home language into what she was saying in her promos, it really made it interesting because it didn't matter what she was saying. You just knew that nobody was ready for Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's interesting to see these mixing and matching of styles now. You know, wrestling has really become a gumbo of styles. Let me ask you another question, Mr. Everything. Is it difficult learning new styles with learning somebody's style if you can't speak their language? I know you just alluded to that a few minutes ago. But how do you learn somebody's what their style is, even if they're a luchador? They might have a certain style that they have. How do you mesh styles in the ring if you can't speak the same language as someone?
Look, you pretty much you just gotta just read the body language. You have to be able to get in a ring, and a lot of times, if you know, I mean, things change at the last minute. I can show up knowing I'm going to wrestle Chef, and then I get to the arena, I was like, oh well, Chef not going to make it. Now you're going to wrestle Brian. I'm like, all right, who's Brian? And
Right.
so luchador, he's really good. He don't speak any English, so do what you can, and you pretty much get in the ring together and you move around and you kind of survey how somebody works. The internet is really easy access now, so if I know ahead of time I'm getting in the ring with somebody that does not speak the same language as I do, I look them up on YouTube and kind of see how they move and see like their past matches. But pretty much, if you don't have that and you get to an arena, you pretty much, you just got to grab each other and start doing a couple of things. Like legit, you just got to go out there and just grab them and say, all right, do a little of this and a little of that, and see how he moves with this, and tie each other up. And that's why grappling is so important. And I tell guys all the time, learn how to grapple, because if you learn how to grapple, you know exactly how to get out of something and put your opponent into a certain situation where you don't put yourself in the worst predicament. So I always talk to a show and I'll go out there. I'm like, all right, brother, let's go. Do this, do a little of that, some of this. And then by the time they get done, they're like, man, he done turn me around and wrap me up and stretch me out like 10 times. I don't even know what happened in the first 5 seconds, but I know I'm on the floor and I can't move and I can't get out. So, just learning those type of things, it helps a whole lot.
Oh man, it's like, and I think, and that's a different viewpoint on that. And I've always wondered how wrestlers of different nationalities that spoke completely different languages, how they actually work together. You know what I mean? And that shows you that anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? If you got to work with somebody and take a kick to the face and still trust that person, and they don't speak the language, man, miscommunications can be even in the ring. If you speak the same language, miscommunications can be detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what happens in the ring. But that's an interesting take on that. I appreciate you giving me that overview. We might have to do a Mr. Everything Breaks Down move or something like that. Mr. Everything Breaks Down the move.
Let's do it.
I'll watch that segment. You know what I'm saying? It'd be something simple, and it'd be a small move, and then you can just break down how to do the move, how to keep somebody safe. You know what I'm saying? Just I would love to see that. I think that would be interesting.
Tomorrow, I have training tomorrow, so I can actually put together a video and send it to you.
Hey, that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what move I want to see now. I'm trying to think. I want to see you hit a Canadian destroyer on somebody. Just
those moves are banned in a Control Your Narrative.
Everything is banned. Oh man, Chef. Man, it's been a crazy week of wrestling. We got to go down to SmackDown, and you know how we do it, man. We got to talk about the hot topics of the week. So let's go ahead and get into it, fellas. I want to talk about, we alluded to a little bit, SmackDown improvements. But I want to talk about the return of a group who I felt was poorly mistreated. They were brought up to main roster after they had smashed everybody on the roster. They were the hottest thing running on NXT for a minute. And then they were brought to main roster SmackDown. I got excited. I felt like a little girl on the inside. I was happy to see this faction in action. And then they stripped it away from us. I damn near broke down crying. But they brought him back. Triple H is playing dividends, Jack, and he brought back one of the hottest factions, even though they are missing one of the main members. And I'm only talking about the great group Hit Row.
Hey, bro.
Man. If you don't not know the members, they have 3 members now. There used to be 4. The members are Top Dollar, B-Fab, which is a female wrestler and manager, and then Adonis. Man, I'm excited for this group to be back. It's new blood in the water. Chef, how do you feel about the group Hit Row being back, even though they do not have Swerve Strickland? How do you feel about Hit Row being back in the mix on SmackDown?
I have mixed feelings with them.
Damn it, Chef! All right, what's your feelings?
I think they be Top Dollar need to go by himself. Just need to leave the group and go by himself.
You said Top Dollar need to go by itself? How is he gonna leave the group? He just came back. He wants to leave already. So, y'all good for trying to break up somebody.
Good
Y'all
power.
always trying to break up somebody.
He's a good powerhouse. Because Adonis,
Okay. So do you like the dynamic of Hit Row together as a faction? Do you like them? I know you have your individual people, but do you like them together as a faction? Man.
Dang.
Dang, not at all?
Where's the love?
There will be some, but there's not.
Jeez Louise, ham and cheese, please. Man, look, Mr. Everything.
Yeah.
What do you think about the group being back, man? Are you excited or you like Chef?
Man, I'm happy to see them back, but I think there's one thing that we're really not discussing right now that we should.
What's that?
When they first came to the main roster, they didn't have B-Fab.
They did not have B-Fab. You are correct, sir.
So there was a lot.
They did not
There's
have
a lot of negotiations going on behind the scenes to bring back not only Hit Row, but to bring B-Fab back along with them, because she did not get to the main roster.
Are correct. I forgot about that.
She was pretty much released before they even got there, and then several months later, they got released, and to bring all three of them back, it's going to be interesting.
Oh man, I'm excited to see Hit Row back, even though they don't have Swerve Strickland, and he's doing his thing right now as AEW Tag Team Champion with the great Keith Lee. Even though I'm sad to see that both of those talents are not on WWE roster anymore, that they are doing their thing, and they look like they're at the top of the card, man. Every Rampage, but the group Hit Row, man, they caught like wildfire the last time. You're right, they did not have B-Fab when they moved up to the main roster, but I'm excited to see what they do. I think B-Fab should really move into a more managerial role, if I'm saying that right. I watched her wrestle. I was not impressed, and she does not belong in the women's division. And I hate this sound bad, but I hate on stuff like that. But I got to be 100% honest. She is not ready.
Well, let's say she wasn't ready.
I don't think she's ready now. Man, listen.
I can see a cat fight style match between her and Bianca Belair. I can see a really good tag match between Hit Row and the Street Profits. So it could be very, very interesting in my opinion.
I'm excited to see it. I know Top Dollar is a star, man. I like Adonis's style and what he brings. I would like to see the group stay together. Stop trying to break people up. Chef and LP, y'all quit. And I'm glad LP ain't. I know LP people like, they about to break up tomorrow. And his genie ass is gonna happen. So we got to keep our tag teams together because we ain't got that many. So I'm happy that they got the tag team division. They put them on notice, man. I'm not sure how much of a threat they'll be to the Usos, but I'm excited to see. I think it's going to be some good television, Jack, if I may say so myself. But I'm excited that Hit Row is back. I thought they were prematurely fired for no reason. Damn these budget cuts.
It was fine for a reason.
They well, we'll see, Chef. We'll see. Sound like a little hate over there. But I know for sure, man. I'm excited to see this group, Top Dollar, B-Fab, and Adonis, man. And if you didn't know, now you know. Now you know. Also, man, SmackDown was very interesting because they had a contract signing. Now, contract signings can go either one way or the other. This contract signing was very interesting between Liv Morgan, the champion, the females, the SmackDown Women's Champion, and challenger Shayna Baszler. First of all, did y'all catch the match? Did y'all see everything that happened? All right, I'm gonna just lay the groundwork and then I'm gonna go into the questioning because this contract signing was interesting. They had the table laid out. You know, you're waiting for the contestant to come out. Ronda Rousey comes out in all black, and probably the best outfit I've seen her wear since she's been here in WWE. She goes into the ring with a black bag. She dumps a ton of money onto the table and says, "Hey, here's your little funky fine and a little bit extra because let's be clear, this ain't the first time something like this is gonna happen." Pure drama. And then the security staff proceeded to escort her out. And then she sees Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler says, "What are you doing? You have to play by the rules. You can't just come out here and do what you want to just because you're Ronda Rousey." And Ronda looked at her and said, "You used to be a killer." Boy, man, listen, I saw that. That was something else. That was really something else.
Let's look at what we have in that. There's some Easter eggs there. One, it could be that this could be leading up to the triple threat match that I spoke about before with
Right.
Shayna and Liv. And two, we could possibly see a Shayna and Ronda Rousey one-on-one, or a Shayna and Ronda Rousey come together, because if you paid attention, they both had the same eye makeup on. The makeup on their eyes was identical, like to the T. The main thing I hated about that segment was the end of it. Yeah,
Okay.
that was not the most blatant. Did you see it, Chef? Did you see it? You saw it. That was not the most blatant. Liv didn't do not a damn thing in that spot I've ever seen. Where Shayna literally put Liv's arm around her neck on herself, lifted her up, and then turned around and then took that daggone bulldog. You did all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, that made me mad. That hurt me a little bit. I was like, Liv, come on now.
Yeah. And I think that kind of alluded to the first question. Should the champion be feared, man? I saw that and it made my ass itch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, why did that? Why did that happen? Why are you helping her hurt you? I didn't get that. If Liv cannot pick up Shayna or do something without her assistance, and trying to look strong, I like what they were trying to do with the spot. I didn't like the spot. I like everything about the contract signing up until then. When I saw that, I was like,
And you did it with the wrong arm. You did it with her bad arm.
Yeah. I was not a fan of that. I am interested to see this Shayna as a challenger, man. I think she's going to be a real threat. I'm not sure where they're going to go with that, or if she's even going to try to take the belt off of Liv. I don't really see Shayna being that guy.
Ronda's going to get involved. That's what's going to happen. Ronda's going to get involved. Shayna's going to lose it because of Ronda. They're going to have their situation, and then that's going to be it.
It's going to turn into a triple threat match.
I can see something like that happening too. The way they're booking Liv is they don't want to have these strong people make her look weak. And it. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Everything. As if you're coming in, right, and you're the bigger name, stronger opponent, how do you feel jobbing to someone of a lesser note? How do you feel? Do you feel like that's part of the business, or do you feel like as a stronger character you should be over?
Well, let's first eliminate the word jobbing, because wrestling as a whole is a job. It's going to work.
Very well put, sir.
But going to I went down to Alabama a couple of weeks, and I wrestled a guy. He's only been in for 2 years, and I was a bigger name. I was a bigger draw, and I had to let him win. Put him over. Doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, he's going to be there every month. I'm not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you got to think about it in the aspect of who's going to be here on a regular. Does it make sense for somebody that's going to come in for a little bit and move on to something else and get the belt or get the win? Or does it make more sense for somebody that's going to be here on a regular?
Right.
So you got to look at it long term rather than short term. I think a lot of wrestling fans look at it short term, like, oh man, Goldberg is a bigger name than Roman Reigns. Okay, but Goldberg ain't going to be here every month. Roman Reigns is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to think about it in that aspect. So Ronda Rousey, she comes, she's there, she's gone, then she's there, and then she's gone. So, do you want to do another Brock Lesnar situation? Or do you want to have something where you're going to build something? And with wrestling, it's so much of a broad spectrum to where the fans can sway how the wrestlers are. So you can be a babyface today and be a heel tomorrow. All it takes is just that one thing to make the fans turn on you. And then that's pretty much where it goes. And that's how we do it in wrestling. You get in the ring, I could be the biggest babyface, and I can get in there with Billy Gunn. And the fans start cheering Billy Gunn. Well, we've got to figure something out. Either we're going to work this in the baby and make them split, which is not hard to do, but it can be hard to do, or one of us is going to have to turn.
Right. Okay. I've always wondered how people actually feel about that. It's just like you at work and you've been working at your job for 10 years, and you know everything about the job, but then they bring this newbie in, fresh out of high school, don't know nothing, and then they gonna be your boss.
Yeah.
No,
it does get disheartening. I mean, like when I went to NXT and I wrestled Heavy Machinery, they had only been in for like 4 years. I had already been in for like 8-9 years by then. So it was like, we do it this way, and I had to take a step back because I was like, you know what? It's better that I listen to them because they know how things run here. They know how the fans engage them. I can't go in there and say, well, I don't think you should do that. That doesn't make sense. No, in this predicament, maybe it does make sense for them. So, it's just how you just got to be able to take your heart off your sleeve and go in there and do the work and make sure that your zeros are still the same when you look at it.
Right. It's very interesting. Going into that, right? We saw an exchange between Austin Theory, or Theory as they like to call him now, and Dolph Ziggler. I think on the Raw show, they were almost trying to pitch a veterans versus newbie kind of thing, which was interesting to me because it made me feel like some of the veterans may be wondering what their spot is looking like now under this Triple H regime, knowing that he's bringing up all his NXT talent and then other talent from other interests, and so we saw this exchange between Dolph and Theory, and it was really interesting because now I'm looking at Dolph as like the Wild League veteran, the older guy. He's still the show off. He still has a big chip on his shoulder, but he's still one of the best wrestlers on the roster. I think Dolph don't get enough shine. When he went down to NXT, he really showed everybody that he was a star. I like Dolph as a champion in NXT. I think that should have ran a little bit longer because he would have challenged a lot of the newer guys. But I'm interested to see. This is my question to both of you guys. With the veterans feeling like their spots may be in jeopardy, especially if they don't have a solid footing and they're trying to still figure out who their characters are. What do you see characters like a Dolph Ziggler? What do you see wildly veterans like him? What do you see they fit in today's Raw and today's SmackDown shows? Let me ask that to Chef.
Where do I see him?
Yeah, do you think Dolph Ziggler has a future? Do you think he can climb back to the top of the mountain?
Get him another run for one of the belts, not one of the main belts like the U.S. Get him around for the U.S. Intercontinental. I can see that.
Okay. Him holding the Intercontinental. He was tag team champion for a little bit with what's my man's name? Bobby Roode. Robert Roode, as his character is. I don't know what happened to Bobby Roode. I haven't seen him on TV since he helped Dolph on NXT. So hopefully he's still with the company. But I'm interested to see because a lot of veterans, like I said, are probably feeling like their spot's about to be taken by some of these new upstarts, man. What do you see would be the biggest challenge for a wrestler like a Dolph to get back to the top of the mountain? Mr. Everything?
I think his biggest challenge is going to be having someone that can keep up with him. Some of the younger guys being able to keep up with him. Because as veterans, our mindset immediately are my longevity is kind of is winding down. It's kind of getting to a point where my time is almost up. Maybe I can't do this as long as I want to. Maybe that time is starting to dwindle down. So I need to start bringing out some of these younger guys and showing them, a better way to do it and creating another Dolph Ziggler, creating another Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre. But who would that be? Who would that look like?
Right.
So if you get in a ring with somebody and you're like, all right, I'm trying to bring you up, brother. I'm trying to put you in this spot. It's like what Brock did with Cena, what Cena did with Roman Reigns, and what Roman Reigns is preparing to start doing now. And that's what Dolph Ziggler is pretty much doing now as well. He's trying to get his hands on somebody that he can say, I leave, I know you're going to carry it the right way. You're going to carry it the best way, and you're going to take it to another level like I did when I came in. I did my thing. I took it to another level, and now look where I'm at now. He came in. Everybody looked at him as the next Shawn Michaels, and he lived up to that hype.
Yeah.
Without having Shawn Michaels having a direct hand on him, on camera or anything like that, he went up there and he lived up to that hype. And
I think Dolph's only problem was whenever you're mentioned with someone as a great name like Shawn Michaels, and you have to try to live up to that hype, you will still be sack of bananas to that person. Dolph is still looked at as a Shawn Michaels wannabe. And I hate this, I hate that comparison is made throughout his whole career, and that's kind of why he has the chip on his shoulder that he has. Because I think Dolph says, "Hey, I'm my own superstar," and he's proved that in and out. I think he's one of like I said, one of the best wrestlers. Because every time he wrestles, like a wrestler, like a Chad Gable, you can see his technical abilities coming out.
That match between Dolph and Chad.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, let's talk about it real quick. We love pro wrestling, but I also love real wrestling. A lot of that match was wrestling. And you can see, I think Dolph was. I'm not sure what Dolph's stats are, but I think he's won championships in wrestling. I believe throughout high school and maybe some college. And he's does some competing. I know Chad Gable participated in the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And they put on a clinic. They put on a Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero style match. They put on a Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho style match.
No, Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. That's a good one. Man, I was very impressed, and I love seeing real wrestling inside the storyline of pro wrestling. But man, I was watching that like these cats are really going at it. I don't think that they planned this match at all. They didn't talk about it in the back. They were just like, "Hey, we just gonna get out there and do our thing," and they rolled around. Man, it looked good. What do you think about real wrestling on the show? Like real wrestling in matches. Like, how do you feel about watching that as a pro wrestler? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. In a lot, and I say all the time, it just goes back to the grappling, right? Like you have to know how to do those things because it shows how well you can move in the ring. It shows your experience and your abilities, and it shows that you don't have to keep flipping around and jumping off the top rope and doing all these different things. And your body lasts a whole lot longer. It lasts a whole lot longer. You don't have to take a bunch of bumps. I've had wrestling matches where I have not taken not one bump throughout the entire match. We didn't do not one, but it's all made sense and it all fit and it all meshed very well. So seeing that, man, I was like, yeah. And it aggravates me sometimes because there's guys out there who can't do that.
Yeah.
And so like somebody like me that's on the independence, I'm like, man, I want to get in the ring with somebody that can do that. But then you get out there and like, yo, can you do that? Like, oh man, not ready to do that. Why are you here?
Right.
I can do a 450. Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Great. But here's the thing. And I told one of the guys, I said, find a way to do grappling style matches. Because if you notice, when you walk out through that curtain, if you're in that ring, all you hear is, do a flip, do a 450, do a dive. Now the fans expect you to do that every time they see you. And if you don't do it, they don't want to see you.
Right.
So you got to be able to showcase more than just, flipping all over the place.
I'm partial to certain styles, right? I love wrestling, like wrestling wrestlers. I also love a good brawl. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like a Farouk and Bradshaw. I love brawlers. I also love high flyers within reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see a bunch of spots. I love spots, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see a spot fest. But I love high flyers that make sense, that can really tell the drama of the match, man. But I think that wrestling should be on the menu for everybody that comes in the WWE. Speaking of some wrestlers, man, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is planting his sword trying to be the next champion. They have the event Clash at the Castle coming up, and I believe not too long from now, like a week, 2 weeks from now. Drew McIntyre spoke about being a fighting champion, and then fighting someone who is a part-time superstar as a Roman Reigns is. He, not part-time, but he has a lighter schedule. Every so years we have this storyline that comes out where you have the champion who's working a part-time schedule, and then the hard-working not upstart, but a hard-working wrestler that's been there day in and day out has a chip on their shoulder and like, hey, how you get to leave and spend time with your family and do all this extra stuff and still be champion and only fight on the main events? We need a fighting champion. Chef, are you excited to see a Drew McIntyre as a champion in this day and age after historic reign of Roman Reigns? Do you think that Drew is ready to take his career to the next level?
I'm always excited to see Drew McIntyre as a champion. He's a good champ. He's a good fight champ that, bring a little prestige to the belt. Right? Roman was talking smack about Brock, how he never wrestled. Now he's doing the same thing. It's just, I like to see a fighting champ. That fighting champ is the best ones to watch. Roman, I love Roman, I love the bloodline, but he's not a good champ at all, to me.
Man, I like a fighting champion. If I had to remember a good fighting champion, I think AJ Styles was a really good fighting champion. I love watching AJ Styles and some of the storylines that he was having. I think KO was a good fighting champion. Seth was a good fighting champion when he was babyface Seth.
Big E was a good fighting champion. He fought every weekend.
Who was that?
Big E.
Big E, yeah. It took me a long time to believe in Big E as a champion. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't jump on the Big E bandwagon until and I always loved Big E. Big E is one of my favorite characters on the show. But it took me a while because I'm like, I don't know. It was a period of time where I didn't look at Big E seriously. He was still waving the New Day, banner, and then he was kind of branching off a little bit, and then he was kind of floundering. He didn't figure out where he was, and then he won the title. He didn't win the title. He cashed in Money in the Bank and got the belt off of Bobby. That was historic. That was pretty big. I love a fighting champion. I still think that they should split the belts, but if they're gonna have Roman at the helm, he's the money maker for the entire company. I believe that bringing up the other two titles will fill that space, right? And we had McIntyre versus KO on Monday. That was a hell of a match.
My one of two match of the weeks.
One of two, man. Well, you up here eating some crazy bread, got garlic and Parmesan all on your fingers. So while we're talking about it, sir, let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got to have Mr. Everything's match of the week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we've had a ton of wrestling happening this last couple of weeks. We definitely got to throw in Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable, as we mentioned earlier. But let's also talk about Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, a match that we did not know that we really needed and truly enjoyed. I truly enjoyed that match. That was a really good match. And then the other one was Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh my God.
Really?
Lava Nakamura match.
Yes, really hard hitting, and both of them, both matches were hard hitting, in your face. Look, I'm gonna hit you harder than you hit me type of style matches. and it was amazing. You know, it was amazing to see, and I'm excited to see where everything goes from there. So, yeah, I mean, if it was any question of the veterans worried about their spots, got nothing to question now because those guys really showed that their spots are cemented and they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Man, both of those, all those matches were really good. The Nakamura versus Gunther match, I knew that was going to be good. I knew for sure that was going to be an amazing match, and it was. Every little piece about it was amazing. I enjoyed the whole entire match. I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. Gunther, when he hits people, it hurts me. First of all, let me see. This is the only man that I've seen chop somebody's chest, and I feel it every time. He has dynamite in his hands, man, and Nakamura was eating those chops, Jack. Man, he was eating them chops.
Let's not forget that's another language barrier.
That is another language barrier. Two different languages. Shinsuke is Japanese, and I believe Gunther is Austrian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a language barrier. So that's very interesting to see that match. But styles make matches, and I like, strong style versus the European. I don't know what you call it. European strong style. What is that called? That style of wrestling.
Yeah,
is that European strong style? I've never heard it called it. I feel like I coined the term. So I'm saying the European strong style. Hard hitting, smash mouth, very technical, great selling. Everything about that match was what you would want to show somebody that's watching wrestling for the first time. Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, okay, if you want to see something physical, here it is. I don't need to see somebody busted open bleeding every time for me to get into the match or believe the match. You know what I mean?
AEW.
I don't need to see blood in every match, man. I don't,
AEW. AEW. Sorry.
Oh man, it's kind of hard to get into. Like, I don't know. I want to see it every once in a while if it's a good match, but like. You need good wrestling, and I think that's what we're getting now from a lot of products. But from WWE, I can definitely see how the product is changing, how the product has changed. I can see that the morale of people there having fun, and they feel the competition. Within not only within the industry, but within the companies themselves. They feel the pressure. They know they got to step up their game. They know that things are a lot different now. And you also have to have a clean social media game to build up your following also. I think that's where stars like Liv has really shined because she organically got the people behind her, but she also used social media to kind of build a lot of that following. And so I think that's something that a lot of wrestlers have to do nowadays that they didn't necessarily have to do back in the day. Let me ask you something, Mr. Everything. When you have a new character, right? Say if you come out and you say, go to the Control Your Narrative guys and say, hey, I got a new character, right? I'm gonna try it out for the first time. How do you gauge whether that character is doing good or not?
Well, we have a saying: if the crowd isn't on their feet when your music comes on, you're not over.
Okay.
So that's where it starts. With my character now on Control Your Narrative, I'm the father of the narrative. I'm not Mr. Everything on there. So it's a different change for me altogether. Okay. And just being able to try to get people to understand the character and the story behind it. The story behind it is, I'm legit a working father trying to make money and trying to, provide for his family, for his kids, and things like that, which every father on this planet can relate to. All the struggles and all the hardships that we go through to be
Right.
able to, sacrifice for our family and sacrificing the time just to have time with our family. That's kind of one of my monikers now. I sacrifice time with them just so I can have time with them. I'm
Right.
killing myself just to keep from dying. So you just kind of got to get out there and fill it out and see how the fans react to it. Like I said, if your music hits and they erupt and they react, then you've got them. If not, then you still got some work to do.
Okay. I always try to. I'm always interested in see if you're starting brand new and say, hey, I'm starting a different character. For instance, the Elias, Ezekiel, Elrod thing, just like Mankind. Mankind had different aliases. I'm not sorry, McFoley. He had different aliases. He had Mankind, Dude Love,
Jack.
Cactus Jack. Yeah. So it's always interesting to see how does a wrestler get over their new personas that they're trying to pursue, and we can see that going on a lot now in some of the characters in wrestling. We've seen that change happen in Rhea Ripley. We've seen that change happen in
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss a lot. Yeah, she does a lot of character changes.
Haley. Ding
Bailey
dong.
did change her character from when she first came in. She killed the floaties. You remember that?
Yeah.
She killed the floaties. I was like, why you wasting materials? But yeah, she killed the floaties, and it was a killing off for character and starting brand new. I know that can be a little interesting. Let me ask you guys a question. Who are your favorite characters who have switched to a completely different character and you like the new character more than the old character? Let me go with you, Chef.
It might sound crazy. Nikki Cross.
You said Nikki Cross?
Yeah.
So are you okay? So Nikki Cross, she started off as this crazy, frantic, deranged demon child. I don't know what else to call it. And then she changed. She didn't really make a lot of changes to her character, because even I think the first change was when she went babyface, and then she was like high energy, really energetic, smiling and happy. I never liked that Nikki. And then she went over to the Nikki Ash character that she has with the superhero get up. And then she turned to a bad guy, but she was still doing the superhero gimmick. And I didn't understand that. That made no sense to me. So it's kind of like you really didn't adapt your character at all. You got to make some changes. You can't say, hey, I'm a bad guy this week and still have on the same damn ring gear. Talking about you almost a superhero. When you going to be a superhero? You almost a superhero? You ain't saved nobody yet. Yeah, she got to save somebody, man. Well, look, let's talk real quick storylines. And I've mentioned a couple of storylines, but there's not really a lot of storylines that I can get behind right now. There's really not much going on as far as storylines is concerned that really has my full interest.
Well, you know why?
Except the NXT storyline that has Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, his group, his faction, versus Tony D'Angelo and the family. Listen, I will go on record and say this is one of the best storylines that I've seen coming out of NXT. I will also say that this is the best storyline on WWE right now. I don't know of any storyline that has a story to it. This has backstory. This feels like a mob story. It feels like the Mexican mob and the Italian mob are at war. And I'm looking at the vignettes and the build-up, the 4-month build-up. Man, this feels like a movie. They done killed some people. Some people are missing. People got hit by cars. It's like, it's like boss versus boss. You know, Jefe versus the Don. Are you guys familiar with the storyline, man? Because like I said, this is like one of my favorite storylines going on right now. I know you guys really don't watch NXT all that often, but for me, like I said, when it comes to this storyline, I want you to go back and watch it. If you haven't watched it, just go back and watch. You know, you can YouTube it. The Delgado versus Tony D'Angelo and the Family Feud. You will love it. It feels like some old school mob stuff. And like I said, this is the best storyline that's on NXT running right now, man, on the roster. What storylines are you guys interested in right now on the product? Let me go with you, Mr. Everything. Do you have any storylines that you're favoring right now?
Like you said, the rest not really. And mainly because they have the draft coming up. So I don't know if any storyline for them.
I don't know what that noise is. Y'all hear that noise?
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
It's the fans. It's the fans cheering for us.
They listening. They tapping into the phones.
7 million.
Is that you, Chef? Okay, stop. All right, that was weird. All right. Look, haters always try to hate. They trying to bring you down. Just look at that. You can't bring down the best damn podcast.
But yeah, there's no real storylines happening right now because I think the draft is getting ready to come up. So it's kind of hard to start getting people engaged in something, but you're going to kill it right off.
Yeah. Chef, do you see any storylines right now on the product that you're excited about?
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo.
Tony, hey, listen.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the Tony D'Angelo storyline with Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, this is I don't care if you don't watch wrestling. Watch that storyline, and you will see what I'm talking about. It's like the Goodfellas. It's any mafia movie that you've seen. The storyline is so good, and it's so in like I forget I'm watching wrestling sometimes. It was like that's how good it was.
And when I watched the part when he met at that little park by themselves, I was like, "What the fuck is this movie? It's a nice little movie." Like somebody went to get shot.
Yeah, you felt like some snipers was in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? I felt like somebody was gonna get got. So you got to go back and watch it, man. If you haven't watched it, the storyline that's on NXT, you can YouTube it whenever you get a chance. It's the Legado del Fantasma versus the Tony D'Angelo and the Family. I would love to see. Well, they just had the battle. I don't want to spoil nothing, but I would love to see Santos and Legado del Fantasma come up to main roster together. I don't want to see them split up. I think they're trying to split them up. But it's kind of like the Scarlet Bordeaux and Karrion Kross thing. You got their package. You got to bring them up together in order for it to make sense. You know what I mean? But anyway, I like that storyline. I want them to have a little bit more storylines coming forward on the main product. NXT is trying to do some storyline stuff, but they're developing. But I would love to see more storyline on the main products. Y'all feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be involved. I want to be engaged in something. I want to believe in it. I want to forget what I'm watching. You know, and I haven't seen a good storyline like that since the Seth versus Cody storyline that's been going on. So give us more stories. You know what I'm saying? We love storytellers. You know what I'm saying? That's all we want. Just a little story. Let's read some of the comments that we have. Let's see. All right, so we got a comment that says Roman's name is as respected as Beyonce's name. I don't know about that. You mentioned Beyonce's name. The Beehive is coming after you, Jack. You gonna get it. Somebody gonna be mad. Black Twitter is black and gay Twitter are all gonna explode at the same time, and you're gonna get attacked by everybody. Listen, they don't play about no Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Roman Reigns, you can mention Roman Reigns' name and not get upset. But yeah, when it comes to Beyonce, you can't do that. Champions should be feared and also respected in order to fully succeed. I agree with that. I agree with that comment. Yeah, you have to have a level of fear, and you have to have a level of respect when you're a champion. I don't want to see no champion that everybody feel like they can beat. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can beat you. Like, why are you champion? I beat you up. Beat you up right after work.
You can wrestle out of faith in you.
Yeah, man. So I have a comment that says some wrestlers can't afford to fail more than once.
Yeah,
they can't fail. Yeah, you know, if you got to seek your opportunity when you got it, Jack. And if you didn't know, now you know. Well, Chef. Oh man. I gotta ask this question every week, you know, because you always in the kitchen doing a little something special. So I just gotta ask the question: what's on your plate, man? This is Chef Showtime's best damn recipe.
Oh man,
man, what you make for us? What you make, Chef?
This week I wasn't really in the kitchen. I was having spending time with my kids.
Okay.
My oldest son playing football now. So.
You're going in and out on me. I can barely hear you.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me now? Now, I didn't know it was about to cook this week. I was supposed to help my son with his football. I was playing football now, so I've been helping him with that. But I got a recipe I'm going to put in the chat and see if you can put it up, post it up. It's some air fried pork chops. They're awesome. The recipe, I'll give you the directions and all that.
Oh man, air fried pork chops, man. You know what? I ain't had no good pork chops in a long time. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop eating pork, and then every time I smell bacon, I just get sucked in. I gotta follow the aroma and get some bacon. But I haven't had no good pork chops in a while, probably in a couple of years, man. But for all of you people who love a good, juicy, succulent pork chop, you can go to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast page, and we're going to post that recipe up there for you, just in case you want to make something, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't like pork chops, you can use a different type of meat. You know what I mean? It ain't going to be the same cooking process, but, you know, what else? But thank you, Chef. You sent me that information. I'm going to post it up on the page so y'all can see them juicy, succulent pork chops. You know what I'm saying? And get some little sides to it and all that jazz. Hey, but look, it's been a great show. We've bounced around a lot. It was a lot to cover. And you know, we're gonna bring you some more fire coming next week. Beautiful people. When you see us in the streets, holla at a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Chef, what you got coming up? You got anything coming up? Any projects? Anything that you're working on, sir?
Not right now. I'm about to sitting here and thinking if I'm gonna open back up my catering.
Open back up what?
Open back my catering.
Catering. Okay.
Everybody keep telling me to do it, but
well, if everybody keep telling you to do it, then what you waiting on? It ain't nothing. You know, we need Chef Showtime, man. You got this platform to be able to show that delicious food. Hey, look, man, we waiting for it. We ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it, Chef. You dig what I'm putting down?
I can dig it.
But also, man, yeah, if you guys want to follow Chef, like I said, you can go to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast page on Facebook. You can also follow us on YouTube, TikTok. We're also on Twitter and Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Twitch. So we're now on all the platforms. We have the website coming up, Work Merchandise. You can get some Best Damn merchandise, Best Damn shirt, Best Damn hat, Best Damn everything. Support your boys. You know what I'm saying? I believe we are one of the hottest podcasts that's growing right now. Young black men talk about something other than drugs and ill will towards other people. You know what I mean? We spread love and happiness. Women, I'm gonna give you a little secret. You want your man to stay home on Friday nights? Watch SmackDown with him. Watch a little wrestling with him. He ain't going away. He gonna stay there. He gonna stay there. He gonna stay home. You want to keep your man home? Get him into wrestling. You know what I mean? Man, this has been a great show, Chef. Thank you, my friend, for always showing up and doing your thing. I'm gonna take a look at them pork chops again, and I'm gonna think twice about life and see if I want to change my diet to including a juicy pork chop on that thing. I'm trying to get you to do some cooking demonstrations for me, man. You gotta. They asking for it. The people are clamoring for Chef. They want to see Chef cook something, man. So one of these shows, we're gonna have a little episode cooking with Chef. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, have Chef cooking for the people. You know what I'm saying? I know at every event that I watch, every show that I watch, I always make some food. I always got some good food. You know, we treat the major events for WWE like we do fight parties. You know what I'm saying? Like you do the Super Bowl. We have a whole spread. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to follow your boy and what I'm doing, my name is Brian Renegade. You can follow me on Instagram at Brian Renegade, on Facebook at Brian Renegade. What is Snapchat at Brian Renegade? What else I got? I gotta switch too. Brian Renegade 7. You gonna find that. What else I got? We got my channel, Renegade Rio, on YouTube. And if you want to follow what me and my old ladies doing, you can follow us at Renegade and Rio Show on Facebook. And also I have a nonprofit organization. You can go support people and families that have children with autism. It's called Blue Hearts for Autism. You go to blueheartsforautism.com, see what we got going on. You can participate, buy some coffee, subscribe, and just support your people that's supporting people. You dig what I'm saying? Look, Best Damn Nation, we love you. We're here for you. We are fans of you. So continue to support us. Like, comment, share this to other people. If they like wrestling, if they used to watch wrestling when they was little, everybody gonna tell you, I used to watch wrestling when I was little. Well, bring out the inner child then. Watch wrestling with your boys. If not, you can just tune in every Wednesday and hear us talking about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We love y'all, Best Damn Nation. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any hot topics that you want your boys to talk about, holla at one of us, holla at me, or go to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast page to go ahead and put your little topic down, your little 2 cents, and I will read it live on air. We're growing this thing. Chef Showtime. It's always an honor and a pleasure, my friend. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Best Damn Nation. This is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast.